Thanks to Greco's Academy, Mr. Tunde now understands the opportunities and skills required to succeed within the renewable energy industry. However, he realizes that he lacks the adequate skills required to secure a job with one of the top renewable energy companies, and eventually, he decides to try the entrepreneurship approach for the solar industry. He once again reaches out to Mr. Greco to enlighten him on ways of starting a business using solar power technologies. Welcome to How to Start Up a Solar Business.
Entrepreneurship and then for Greco Academy. Today's topic is we are going to be dealing on is how to start a solar business in Nigeria. Our presentation outline will cover the introduction, how to get started, the value chain opportunities that are available to us, the types of solar businesses, the types of staffing required, how to register our business with Corporate Affairs Commission, and lastly we'll be talking about the policy, standards and regulatory framework for solar PV in Nigeria. Starting from the introduction, it is on record that 45% of Nigerians lack electricity access. And in terms of population, according to the Rural Electrification Agency, it is estimated that 95 million people in Nigeria do not have access to electricity. That brings Nigeria to as the second largest population without electricity access after India. India has over 240 million people without energy access. So we are the second largest in the whole world without access to electricity. From this same number we are talking about, 36% of Nigerians that live in the rural areas do not have access to electricity. That's to tell us that there are a lot of enormous potential still awaiting to be tapped in the industry. Next slide. To start with, let's look at the Nigerian Solar Power Program target by the government. The timeline has been subdivided into three: the short term, the medium term, and the long term. And this same solar power program has been subdivided into two in terms of the solar PV electricity and solar thermal. These are the two methods that we can generate power or electricity from solar power. If we are to look through, let's take for example the solar PV home system. The government has planned to have on ground 15 megawatts of solar PV home system in the long term. This long term extends between 2021 to 2030. Unfortunately, this year the medium term will be ending, and we are now very close to getting to the target. This applies to almost all the technologies that is being penciled down. In terms of solar water PV, pumping, solar PV for community service, solar PV for refrigeration, solar PV street light and traffic light, solar PV for large-scale plants, and solar thermal electricity. On the other hand, if we are to look at the solar thermal system, like that of solar water heater, solar cooker, solar dryer, solar scale, and pasteurizer. In a nutshell, all these are meant to show the would-be entrepreneur that there are a lot of opportunities in the industry. Here, now we are going to be talking about the benefits of solar power to customers. Since we will have to tell our customers and clients the advantage of the technology we are about to deploy to them before we can cash out from that. Opportunities include providing energy without toxic emission. That if we are to look at it from the environmental impact. Providing electricity during the peak hours, volatility in reducing costs. Just a few days ago, we heard petrol pumping price has gone to 160. In order to avoid volatility in cost of having power, we need to have solar installed to our customers. Another advantage is that it gives an improved energy security and also helps to reduce congestion on the power grid. These are some of the benefits of solar power to customers. So when next a customer is asking you, why do you think I should install this technology? You should have an answer for them. Let's look at the solar energy resource of Nigeria. What energy resource is available to us? Since we cannot just install without knowing the energy resources. Starting from the map on the right hand side, we can see different colors under different states. In the northern part of Nigeria, we can see most parts are red, showing us that there are high installation levels in different states. As we come down to south, the average installation value of the GHI, that's the global horizontal irradiation, reduces. So, what is this supposed to mean? Let's take an hypothetical example. If you are to install a system of same capacity in, let's say, Kano and Port Harcourt, it is possible for the same capacity, it is possible for us to have 5 panels installed for a particular design, and at the same time, for this same particular design, have 7 to 10 panels in Port Harcourt. That is the difference. From that, we can see how the irradiation energy resources in these different locations affect cost. That does not mean you cannot install in the southern part, but you may have to spend a little bit more because the energy resource around that axis is not as high as that of the northern axis. Now, let's discuss what value chain opportunities are available to us in the solar industry. This presentation, I've gone ahead to divide the opportunities into 2. We have a segment of the value chain which has been subdivided into 6 points, and also the supporting processes. So now let's take the segments of the value chain, where a business entrepreneur can either fall into project planning, manufacturing of electrical or solar equipment, installation, grid connection, operation and maintenance, and finally, decommissioning. Almost all these, 5 out of these, are very, very possible for us at this stage. The only one which we can say is still very far to us in this part of the world is the manufacturing part. Although we still have those who are into the manufacturing of inverters. On the other side, the supporting processes could include those who write and make policies, which those in the field use, the financial services in terms of financial modeling, writing financial modeling, education, those who train others, who train the upcoming youth in terms of vocational training and skills, research and development, and finally consulting. This falls under the supporting process. So, as somebody who is just coming into the field, you can decide to pick any of these value chain opportunity, depending on where you have capacity to deliver. We are going to be talking about the types of solar businesses in Nigeria. The solar business could go in terms of you being a solar installer, either technicians and engineers, solar products / component sales and marketing, for example, those who sell solar batteries or those who sell solar home systems or solar components. It could also be like those who are solar energy consultants, solar inverter manufacturing, solar maintenance and operation and maintenance O&M, those who help to maintain the already installed systems, solar business legal advisors, solar financial modeling specialists, and lastly, solar tax consultants. These tax consultants can help a company to organize in paying consult tax to FIRS and other government establishments. Another important point which the would-be entrepreneur need to understand is how to start his or her business. The type of staff that may be required. Let's talk of the solar engineers and technicians that will be working, the sales and marketing executive who will be in charge of the sales of the products, the administration / account officer, the procurement / stock officer, the operation manager, the general manager, the human resource department, and finally the logistic officer. A company may not start with all this at the beginning. There will be time you can decide to extend in employing people to cover up all these places, positions. These are key important positions that make operation flow well. Now let's talk about registering a solar business with the Corporate Affairs Commission. Although the CAC have a well-laid processes which will be found online, here we have summarized it into 6 different points. The first is getting a company name, which is preferred by you. The next is to prepare your memorandum of association, which shows the activities you intend to carry out. The third is to fill the pre-registration form online, pay the stamp duty and filing fee, prepare scanned copy of the documents submitted, and finally to submit all the original documents at the CAC. So these processes can take up to a week or 2 weeks depending on how prepared you are. By the right side, we have given an hypothetical cost of setting a company in Nigeria. Although this same amount still work, the reservation of name, the amount involved, the registration, the amount involved, the registration charges, the filing of annual returns, the payment for the certified true copies of the registration, each of these amounts is given in Naira. So, if you are to incorporate a private owned company, you may be spending also like within 30 to 40,000 naira to get your company registered under the CAC. That is just on the conservative side. Sometimes if you feel there is no time for you to do all this, you can get lawyers involved in it. Details of the CAC business registration can be found online under the CAC Corporate Affairs Commission website. On the final note, let's talk about policies and standard regulatory framework for solar PV in Nigeria. These are very important because some of those documents are what will serve as a guide in whatever you are doing. The do's and don'ts are written there. Some of the regulations that you may have to look for online include the MITO, also known as the multi-year tariff order. Although presently we operate in MITO 2, the MITO 1 is no more in use because the MITO 1 excludes the solar business. But the MITO 2, which is in existence, which is being used, covers the solar business. Then we also have the transmission, distribution, and metering code, the embedded generation regulation NEC 2012, and the host of others. All these depend on the kind of business, the value chain you find yourself. For example, if you decide to go into the mini grid regulation, then definitely you need to reach through the mini grid regulation 2017 by NEC. So, when next you think of starting your solar business, try as much as possible to scan through these documents. The good thing is that they are all available online. We'll be talking about the tax, the subsidy, the grant and soft loans that are available to people of finance status. For example, on tax in Nigeria, there is pioneer status available to companies involved in IPP, Independent Power Producer, in terms of the income tax revenues of the 20 Act 2004. Under this Act, the federal government can grant pioneer companies a tax holiday of an initial 3 years. These are some of the opportunities that are available to the would-be entrepreneur. Renewable, this opportunity is also renewable for another additional 2 years period. On the issue of subsidy and grant, this is a little bit complex, which a new entrant into the field might not be able to get the opportunity. But as time goes on, a solar business developer can also enjoy such opportunity. Opportunity of enjoying between 30 to 75% of initial cost of solar utilization under REACT is still very much available. There is also this opportunity with the REA World Bank, $350 per connection to mini grid developers under the performance-based grant subsidy per connection. With time, you get to understand how this thing works. But have it in mind that there are opportunities that can be tapped on while you expand your operations. On the part of the loan, it's a little bit dicey. A lot of banks don't give loans to renewable energy companies because they believe it's a new technology that is still yet to get these days. However, there are still 1 or 2 banks or financial institutions that can give soft loan. One of such is the BOI. For those who need the details of how BOI gives soft loan to solar companies, you can explore their website and read through what their requirements are. Normally, their interest rate is available not exceeding 10% per annum. I want to believe this is a very good one for a would-be business person. An interest rate of less than 10%, which is very rare from the normal banks that you and I know. The next one is what we are talking about now is the government financial incentives. What we have just broke down now are just the incentives from the government. The incentives that are actually available for those who want to promote the development of RE, not only solar, whether wind technology, whether biomass, whether hydro, small hydro, or whether we are talking about geothermal or stable technology. But our main focus on this topic is solar. So, when next you find yourself in this business, you should be able to differentiate between the opportunities that are available to you and the ones you need to work on your side. In terms of the subsidy, in terms of the grant, in terms of the soft loan that are mostly targeted at the demand side. And then the physical incentives, which include the ones that we just discussed, the solar, the tax relief, the duty and levy waiver, which are all targeted at the supply side. When we talk about the supply side, we are talking about the developer side. While when we talk about the demand side, we are talking about the opportunities that are available to the developer, but through the installation done to the customers. So, this brings us to the end of our presentation. If you have any question, you can write to us at info@precopa.com or call our number at 080-9020-7682. We are there for you. Thank you.